here is your solution for the people who hadn't noted yesterday. Please do note this. Yes. Let me start by explaining this particular program. Again, the problem statement states that we need to define a function which takes in two lists as parameters, and then it returns true if at least one element in the list in these two lists are common. So here are two lists, my underscore list and another underscore list, which has no value in common, right? Then I'm going to call check underscore common, which is a function, a user defined function which I wrote inside the print function, and I'm going to pass these two parameters, right? Arguments. Then the parameters are caught here as list1 and list2, and in the outer for loop, the list1 is being iterated, and the contents of list1, the elements of the list1. Okay, I'll do that. One by one, the elements in the list one are being copied to the variable I, iterator variable I, and in the next line, in the if condition, it is being checked that if there is an element I in list two, right? We are using in operator. So if there is an element in list two, the control comes inside the if block and it is going to return true, right? In the entire iteration of for loop, if there is no such element I in list one, which is in list two as well, it is going to come out of the loop and it is going to return false, right? So it is going to be printed in the print function successfully, right? So I'm pasting it in chat box as well, right? Okay, here you go. So any doubts with it? Let's move ahead, right? I don't think so. Anybody is having any doubt in this. It's a fairly simple program. And here in the next question, write a Python program to print a specified list after removing 0th, 5th, and 6th elements. Write a Python program to print specified list after removing the 0th, 4th, and 5th elements. Just for your reference, let me put the slide which has methods, list methods. Okay, we have solutions. Yogesh says, okay. Why don't you check your solution? Is it working? Is that how methods should be used? Yes. What is the difference between a function and a method? No idea. Okay, we'll be seeing it later. See, method can only be accessed using an object, right? We'll see what object is. And pop is a method. So how do you access it? Using an object. What is the object? Your list variable is your object. And its parameter is the position. You need to pass the position of the element to be popped inside pop function, pop method, and pop method has to be called using the object of list, which is your list variable, right? Let's see how to do that. Okay, enough of time for this. Now, yeah, we have solutions again. Remove. Okay, Kotrej, understand the question. Understand the question, Kotrej. We have list. Say lst is equals to list of input, enter the elements dot split, right? Then we need lst dot pop and the index name. That's how it has to be done, right? lst dot pop, you have 0 1 2 3 4 5. Let me see the questions again. 0th, 4th, and 5th index, right? 0, 4, and 5th index, right? So before the popping, we have this print lst, and after popping, we have this print lst, right? So let's go ahead and execute this. You have elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Okay. Before popping, this is your list, and after popping zeroth element, that is 1, and fourth element, okay, okay, okay. Here it is. Before going to that, what should be the output, people? What is the output of this if the list is, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? What should be the output if this is the initial list? Can anybody tell me? 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 7. Okay. Gives error, you think. Why, Aditya? Why do you think it gives an error? 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. We are dealing with index or elements in the case of pop. We are dealing with index, not the elements. Okay. See, people, before going to that, let's see the output. Here you have the output as 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. Okay. I'll tell you why. Because see, at this point in time, the list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? When you pop zeroth element, what happens? The list becomes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? When you pop the fourth index, what happens? You are popping the fourth. This is the new index. This is the new list. All right. This is your new list. So fourth element of this list, not the initial list. I repeat, fourth element of this list, the updated list, not the original list we started with. Right? Every single time you pop, the list is being updated. Please remember that. So when you pop the fourth element of this, what is fourth element of this? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that will be 2, 3, 4, 5. Sixth element will be popped 7, 8, 9. Am I right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Fourth element is popped. And again, fifth element is being popped. Fifth element is, which one is the fifth element? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 8 will be popped. 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 7, 9. Right? Yes, Amit is correct. It is dynamically changed. Right? So every single time it is a new list. It is not the old list which is having. Right? So in order to do that, what you need to do is progressively every single time you need to delete one from it. So 4 should become 3, 5 should become 3 again, because minus 2, 5 minus 2. Hope you got it. Right? So here is what I want you to do. I want you to write a Python function which takes two lists as input. Right? List 1 is the original list. Right? List 2 contains the indices of the elements to be popped from list 1, right? Should return new list with pop after popping the elements. If the elements is going, I mean, when you try to pop the elements, if there is no element in that particular position, say if the length of the list is 4 and you are trying to access index 4 or index 5, right? It should return this. So this is your problem statement. Yes, Yogesh has got the right approach, all right? That is one way of going about. Okay, when the element is not found, you need to return this particular string which says element not found. Amit, I request you to comment in English as much as possible because there are people from other states, from other places who doesn't understand Kannada, and we'll be circulating the comment section later for referring. Right? So let's keep it in English as much as possible. Indices in the sense, Amit wants to ask what is indices. So indices is nothing but your positions. The indices starts from zero. Zero from the first element. Indices always starts from zero and moves up to size minus one of the list. So it is the index of one in this particular list is zero. Index of two in this particular list is one. Index of three in this particular list is two. Okay, Aditya has got one. What is it? Yogesh, for this solution, why am I getting pop index out of range? Because you must have read less number of elements from the input. That's the reason. That might be the reason. Okay, Yogesh wants to know one more help. Does the sort command sort in descending order? That depends. See, you need to use sorted, right? Sorted, and the reverse parameter in the sorted function should be set to true. Then only it works. By default, it is set to false. It's been 3 minutes. Enough of the time. Let's go ahead and solve. What do we need to read? We need to read two lists. List 1 is equals to list of input of enter the elements in the original list, right? Dot split. Then we have list pop index, right? Which is also list input enter the indices to be popped dot split, right? Then we need the index to be say integer, of course. It cannot be strings. So inbuilt, when you read the input from the user and store it in list, it will be string. So in order to convert it into list, here you go. List, okay, for I in list underscore pop list. Okay, better than this. Let me go ahead with range of list underscore pop, or range of length of list underscore pop is list underscore pop of I is equals to int of list underscore pop of I, right? So all the elements are converted into integers. Then you're going to pass it to the function. Function, let's define it as pop elements list 1 and list underscore pop, and let's store it in the same list. Then let's go ahead and print it. Print list 1. So our main function is ready. Let's go ahead and define the function itself. Define pop underscore elements, which accepts list 1 and list underscore pop. Now we have to decrement the sort the list underscore pop in decrementation order, right? How do you do that? List underscore pop is equals to sorted of list underscore pop reverse is equals to true, right? Let's just go ahead, right? Then for I in list underscore pop, list one dot pop of I, right? Before that, we need to check a condition. If I is greater than or equal to length of list one, what you need to do? You need to return element not found, right? Then we need to pop the corresponding element if that is not true, and then return list one. As simple as that. Okay, what took you so long? Let's go ahead and okay, I got solutions. Let's go ahead and execute this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 elements to be popped. Let's say 0, 5, 1. Zeroth element is popped. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 is gone. And first element 2 is also gone. As simple as that. Alright. So this is your solution, people. I wonder what took you so long. I don't understand. Let's see if there is any doubts. If there are any doubts. Okay, Preeti, always understand, always remember the definition of the function should always be above the call, right? Before you call it only, the function should be mentioned, not after you call. This will throw an error. Always remember. And the what do you say? I understand you are using mobile, but when you actually code in the computer, make sure that the variables of, I mean, the names of your function should always be in small. Just make sure of it. And then Yogesh has, shouldn't be the syntax be like list underscore pop dot sort. Again, I told you, see, there might be such function, but I'm not aware. But here we are using sorted function. This is not a method, right? Sorted is a function which takes parameters inside it, right? So this is a function, not a method. Sort is the method which you are trying to illustrate, and if that method exists, then this is the way to call it, right? You are right if that is the method. As we are using function sorted, we are going to pass both the objects, I mean both the parameters inside itself, right? So anybody with doubts in this program? Okay, Amit says instead of converting each element, we can put int type into list. We can't. We can't. Tell me where to put it. You expect us to put it here? Int? Sure, I'll explain the code once again. See, here I am reading the first list, right? First list being the original list. I'm reading it in LST1. This is the list which contains the actual elements which have to be popped, right? Then I have one more list uh, here, which I'm going to read. This list contains the indices of list one to be removed, to be popped. The indices of the elements in list one which are to be popped. Understand, right? So I'm going to read both of this list, and then I'm going to convert the list underscore pop into integers because by default we are reading strings using input function. So we need we need list underscore pop to be an integer list because the indices which we need are strictly integers. All right. Then we have our list ready, both the lists ready. Then I'm going to call pop elements, which is the user defined function, and pass two elements, two arguments. One is list one, the original list, and list underscore pop. All right. Coming to here, it is going to accept the parameters, both the parameters. Then what is it going to do? It is going to sort the list underscore pop. Why we need to sort? We saw it in the previous example, right? Then once we sort it, this is the way to sort. Sort is a function which takes two parameters. One is the iterator itself, that is a list. The next one being whether to sort increasingly or decreasingly. So if it is decreasingly, we need to put reverse is equals to true. If it is increasing, we need to put reverse is equals to false, right? Make a note of it. Then the list underscore pop is totally sorted in decreasing order, and then we are going to pop one by one. I'm going to iterate through list underscore pop one by one using for loop. Then I'm going to check whether the given uh, index is out of range or not. If it is out of range, it is going to return element not found, right? The same is going to be printed. If otherwise is the case, it is going to pop that particular element in that particular index, which is denoted by I, right? Then at the end, I'm going to return the list one. Once I return the list one, I'm going to store it in list one in the main function, and I'm going to print. As simple as that, right? Okay. Amit says list of int of input dot split is possible. I don't think so, because input dot split, it is definitely not possible. I'll tell you why. Input dot split, when you apply this particular function, sorry, method, you are going to convert the input string into tuple, right? Once you convert it into tuple, you can't convert uh, tuple into integers, because int function only takes one of two parameters. Either it can be a string or it can be a float. So the parameter which we are passing is tuple. We can't do that. Yeah. Arshad says, bro, copy the program in comment. All right, I'll do that. Hope this helps. Any doubts in the program? Shall we move ahead? Yes. Anybody who doesn't understand, please go ahead and say no, right? Next. Next in the list, we have write a Python program to generate 3 cross 4 cross 6 3D array whose each element is star. Aditya asks, is popping elements in ascending order wrong way? We just saw why it is wrong. Aditya, we just saw why it is wrong. Where were you? Practically, we saw. You need to decrement that particular index one by one. It is not feasible at all. Right? Here is a next problem for you. Write a Python program to generate 3 cross 4 cross 6 3D array whose each element is star. How do you do this? Can I tell how output looks? This is how your output looks. And one more thing, all of it will be in single enclosed in single inverted commas. That is obvious, right? Aditya asks, if pop elements ascendingly, we get not necessarily. Aditya, not necessarily. It depends on the list. It might, but you'll definitely get a wrong output. You might get an output, but that will be wrong for sure. Once practically you implement. I didn't catch. I mean, one can print that directly. I understand one you can print that directly. I also understand what we are doing. All this can also be did directly. But we need speed. We need accuracy. That's the whole point of automation. I want you to program for it. I'll suggest a modification. Let's start with small. Yogesh, don't you think the previous program which we did, and perhaps all the programs, can be done manually? Definitely, we can do it. No problem is small, no problem is big. You learn something or the other from everything, right? Please do it. Okay, this is what you meant. Here is the thing. I want you to use for loops. Let me solve this one for you. What does a problem statement say? You need to generate a 3D array. So how do you do that? You need to take one list, declare it, right? Then you need to take for loop I in range 3, because 3 is your first dimensions length. List 1 dot append star. So you are done with your first dimension. Now you need a miscellaneous list for this. List temp. We'll see why. Let's go ahead and make this as list underscore temp. Okay. Now list 1 is your original list. I'm going to append list temp to original list. List underscore temp. Okay. After this, I'm going to empty list underscore temp. We'll see why in a while, right? Then we have second iteration for I in range 4, because we need 4 stars in the second dimension. So that will be list underscore temp dot append star. Then you have list 1 dot append list underscore temp. Okay. Now you have third dimension, that is, before doing that, let's clear out the list underscore temp. Once we clear it, for I in range 6, list underscore temp dot append star. Now you have list 1 dot append list underscore temp. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to print finally list 1. Okay. So when I try to execute this, here I have the selection. Okay, Aditya says, okay, let me take you through the program now. See, first thing I'm going to initialize two lists. First list is the original list which I intend to generate, and the second list being the temporary list. Temporary list is needed because I need this internal lists, right? Lists inside a list. This is a nested list, right? I need all these lists which cannot be created out of the blues. So I need this temporary list which can hold this particular list in that particular iteration. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this temporary list and I'm going to append this the number of times specified in the function. Function of the range, right? That which is inside for loop. So for loop is going to run these many number of times, and these many number of stars are going to be appended in the temporary list, right? Once the list of the first dimension is ready, what I'm going to do, I'm going to append that particular list to the original list which I intend to develop. So as that list is empty, it is going to be appended in, it is going to be stored in the first index of the original list. Alright? So once I do that, I need to empty the list. Why do I need to empty the list? Because the next list is totally new one, right? I need to start from the scratch. So once I empty that particular temporary list, I'm going to start again the for loop. And here I'm going to mention the length of the second dimension, which is 4. So I'm going to append the second dimension number of stars into the temporary list, and then this temporary list is again going to be appended to the original list. That is this. At that particular point in time, the original list has only first uh, list appended. So after this particular line of execution, line number 9, the second list is also going to be appended into the original list, right? So this entire thing is the execution point at line number 9. So once I do that, again I'm going to clear the list, because again we need to start from scratch. We don't know what the number is. Then we are going to append this particular star, or whatever the pattern it might be. In this particular case, it is star. How many number of times? The third dimension number of times, which is 6, as mentioned in the question. Again, I'm going to generate the new list, and again I'm going to append this particular new list onto the original list, and I'm going to print the original list. As simple as that, right? Any doubts? Great. Now I want you to modify this particular program. Okay, Purva says she didn't get it. Okay, I'll explain once again, Purva. No problem. Uh, Let me give the modification to other people. For the people who understood, I want you to write a function, modify this program into a function which accepts 4 parameters. Right? First being the list. Second being the number of indices. Sorry. Okay. Let me write that down for you. Say a function, it should accept list variable. The second parameter should be the value of first dimension. Third parameter should be the value of second dimension, and fourth parameter should be the value of third dimension, and fourth parameter should be the pattern itself. So in order to produce this particular output, I need to pass the following parameters into the function. How do I do that? function. Okay, I might not need the first parameter, right? Let me take out the first parameter. I need to pass 3 comma 4 comma 6, and the pattern is star. I need to pass this. When I pass this, it should return me this, right? Hope you got it. Anybody who didn't get the question? Okay. Oh my god. Okay, okay, okay. Fine. List, list. Okay, are you sure, Aditya? Function is what I asked for. Where are you using the parameter PAT? I don't see you using. All right. We have Kotraj has got a beautiful solution and efficient one as well. I was about to get there, but okay, it increases confusion. For the people who think they can understand complex solutions, can refer to Kotraj's solution. Aditya, I didn't see your updated solution. Okay, okay, fine, correct. That solution is perfect. Nice. For the people who couldn't get the solution, they can refer to Aditya's solution. Moving ahead. Amit, I wanted you to print, design a list, I mean, function, right? Where are 4 parameters being accepted? Where are you calling the function? Okay, here you are calling the function. Append. I don't think so. I'm sure this is not what I asked for. I wanted you to accept 3 parameters, right? Four parameters. Sorry. 4 parameters. Okay, anyways, we'll discuss about this later. Please go ahead with this particular function, which is instance of var comma class, where var is your particular variable or a constant, and class is the one which you want to check. So is instance is going to return true if var belongs to class. It is going to return false if var does not belong to class. So let's go ahead and practically demonstrate it. Right, Yogesh, you are right. First line should be in first line you need to use list function. Okay, you have is instance. Say you have string, right? Comma str is your data type. It is going to return true because string belongs to str class. Str is a class actually. For the people who don't know, don't worry about it. Just remember that the first argument should be the variable or the constant, and the second argument should be the data type which you want to check whether the particular constant or a variable belongs to or not. Say is instance of 3 belong to int? Yes, it does. Is instance say 1, 2, 3, 4 belongs to list? Yes, it does. Is instance 9 belong to str? False. So as simple as that, right? So hope this is clear. Is instance. Now here comes the program. Write a Python program to flatten a given structure, nested list structure. Original list will be this, and I want you to print this, right? I want you to remove all the nested structures and make it a single linear list. So I want you to write a program for this. Data type can be set. Can be set. Yes. Yes. Yes, Aditya. Yes, it returns Boolean values, either true or false. Let me go ahead and solve this question. So here I have a list and I need to flatten it. For I in list, I need one more list. List 1 is equals to, okay, this. I is instance I comma list 1 dot append for I for j in I, list 1 dot append j, right? Then I have list 1 dot append I. List 1, when I execute this, I have continue. That's it. Kottresh output. Kottresh, do you think your solution works? There is something missing. Just check. Okay. Let me explain this for you people. See, here is the list. List contains the nested lists. Here is the output list, and I'm going to iterate through the values of list. So I'm going to check whether the given list is the iterating current iterating value is a list or not. So how do I do that? Is instance I comma list, right? I'm going to check if I is list or not. If it is I, if it is list, I'm going to iterate that particular I again in another for loop and again join all the values of I into list one. And why am I using continue keyword? Because again, the I value once it is done, once all the values are copied, why do I need to again append I into the output value? It is going to throw, I mean, it is going to give you an error, the output error. It is not what you desired for. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue so as to skip that particular iteration, because that iteration will make you make the nested list again get copied to the list, and again redundancy. So in the next iteration, if that is not case, if I is not list, it is going to be directly appended to list one, and you are having your uh, output list, right? So this is the logic of the program. Let me copy paste that. Copy paste this quickly. There you go. Okay, working. Uh, okay. You have the output is in global scope. Okay. Fine, fine. I thought output is inside the definition. No problem. Okay. Can split be used to display? So why yes, you can use split to display. Split. What split does is it basically is going to take your string. It is going to split based on the delimiter given to the split as a argument, and it is going to return you a tuple. Always remember, it is going to return you a tuple. If you want that to display, you need to put that particular thing into the print function. Then you are able to display it onto your terminal, right? Until and unless you use display, you are not able to print it on terminal. Let me give you a live demonstration on that. 1 2 3 4 as your string, right? Dot split. It gives you a list. Oh, okay. It is returning list itself. Previously, when I checked, probably another version of Python. All right. Previously, when I checked, it was actually tuple, right? I strongly remember it was actually a tuple. It is returning list as of now, right? Better use to better enclose it in list, right? You'll never know which Python version you're running. So better to enclose this in list. If it is already list, it is not going to affect your efficiency of the program. If it is not list, again you'll be in safer zone itself, right? So moving ahead, dictionary is very important topic of the Python programming language. Dictionary is used in various fields. Let's go ahead and see what dictionary is first. Dictionary is nothing but your key value pairs, right? A dictionary is a collection which is ordered, definitely ordered. Okay, which is unordered. Unordered in the sense it depends on how we are going to append the values or put in the values inside the dictionary, right? You can access however you want. The dictionary is the collection which is unordered, changeable, and indexed. Indexed in the sense your key itself is an index, right? You can change, it is mutable. And in Python, dictionaries are written with curly brackets and have keys and values. See, this is a typical dictionary. In order to declare a dictionary, all you need to do is mention the name of the dictionary followed by a assignment operator which is equals to and a pair of empty curly braces. You can also do that using dict uh, uh, function, right? You can also use the do that using dict function. Then dict. Uh, and one more way to do it is initialization. Initialization in the sense you are going to put in the values of the dictionaries. The one, how do you put in the values? You need to put in the values using their corresponding keys. The one towards the left side of the colon is your key, the one towards the right side of your colon is your value. So in order to access your value, you need to know your key, right? So one more constraint is that the the key is the key is the key should be strictly immutable. When I say immutable, what do I mean? It should it should it should not it should not be editable, just like your tuple or a string, right? Hope this is clear. I repeat, list is a data type in Python which is a collection of key value pairs, and it is unordered. It can be changed or modified, and the keys of the dictionaries should be strictly immutable, which means you should not be able to edit the keys of the dictionaries. And the keys and values, the corresponding values are differentiated by colon, and key value pairs themselves are differentiated using comma. Okay, there are three ways of creating a dictionary. First being the dictionary name followed by the assignment operator followed by the curly braces. Second way being dictionary's name, the name of the dictionary followed by the equals to operator followed by the dict method itself. And the third being the dictionary's name followed by assignment operator followed by pair of curly braces within which you will be having the key value pairs separated by comma, and key and value separated by colon. Okay, so this is clear. So next being, any doubts? No, Amit. Structure is fairly different uh, uh, data type, right? Okay, you have this is a following way how you can access the items. All right, in order to access the value of a in order to access this particular value, you need to know you need to know its corresponding key, right? This is your key and this is your value, something like hash table you would say, right? So if you mention the key value inside a pair of square braces preceding which is your dictionary's name, you'll get the value, right? In order to get Mustang, you need to mention this, that is the dictionary's name followed by a pair of square brackets inside which is your key's name, will fetch you your um, value, right? One more way of doing it is using method, get method. How do you do that? Dictionary's name dot operator get method inside which you need to mention your key value, right? When you mention that, it will fetch your value from that particular dictionary. Always this is preferred because this is standard, right? This is industry standard. This is not desirable, but you can use it. However, this is not desirable because it looks crude. You'll never know what you are fetching. You'll never know what you are intended to do. When you do this, you strictly know that you are doing this for a dictionary, right? So having said that, moving ahead, changing values. How do you change the values? Similar way, you are going to uh, take a square brackets behind which will be your dictionary's name. Then you will be having your updated value, right? If you want to update that corresponding value, you need to know that key and put the keys name inside the square brackets, and then mention the updated value, and voila, you have updated the value of that corresponding key in the corresponding dictionary, right? Next, loop through the dictionary. How do you do that? Using for loop, you can do the following way. For x in this dict. This dict is nothing but your dictionary, and when you print x, you'll get your key values, key names, right? You're only going to get your keys, but not the values, right? The other way of in if you want to get the values, you need to mention, of course, you need to mention like this. That is your dictionary name followed by a square of a pair of square brackets inside which should be mentioned x, which is your key. This will return your values, right? Corresponding values. Uh, you can also use values method in order to directly fetch your values, right? Right. There is one more method called items, right? Let's see. Uh, items which will give you both key as well as value simultaneously. We'll see the live demonstration of it. If you want to check whether the key exists or not, you can just use if condition. If model is the key which you are searching for, if you want to know whether the model is existing in the dictionary or not, you can do this. If model in this dict, right? Yes, model is one of the keys in the dictionary. If not, no, right? Hope you are making a note of it. Yes. Next, dictionary length. You can use the len function itself, right? This will return the key value pairs, number of key value pairs. Next, how do you add new values? You need to mention new keys corresponding to the new values, just like mentioned in the presentation here. If you do that, the new key corresponding to the new value will be added to the dictionary, right? Hope you are making a note of it. Moving ahead, removing items. How do you remove the items? You remove the items using pop method. The dictionary's name, dot operator, pop the key name which you want to pop entirely. When you do this, the entire key value pair will be gone, will be pop, right? Make a note of it. Next, there is one more way of removing items, that is using del, right? When I mention del followed by dictionary's name followed by pair of square brackets inside which the key is mentioned, the particular key along with its value will be gone, right? So if you want to remove the entire dictionary, delete the entire dictionary altogether, you just remove that particular the square brackets and just mention the dictionary's name. The entire dictionary will be deleted, right? Make a note of it. Next, yes, that is what I'm talking about. Just make a note of it. Next, clear. If you want the dictionary to be existing, but you want it to clear, if you want to clear all the values in the dictionary, you'll use the clear method, right? This dict dot clear method will give you all values deleted, and the dictionary will be existing, but you'll have an empty dictionary, right? Okay, Aditya says, can the value of a particular key be empty? No, you can't have a key with an empty value. You can't. But whereas you can have an empty pair of inverted commas just to mention there is nothing. Or else you can also store none data type. None. Right? You can do that. Next, can the key be key also of particular can be empty? No, no, no. There is no way. Uh, there is no way that key can be empty. It's not possible. Right? Hope you have made a note of it. Copying the dictionary. Right? Again, we have seen there are two types of copy. One being deep copy, and the other being just copy. Right? When you just mention without mentioning dot copy, if you just give equals to, you are just referencing that particular dictionary to another dictionary variable. When you mention dot copy, you are copying all the elements and making the entire copy again in another dictionary, right? That is the difference. Make a note of it. Moving ahead. Here are your dictionary methods. Just have a look at them. I'll circulate the PPT for you. All right. Let's move ahead with the programs now. Okay, Aditya says the copy method is aliasing the new dictionary to existing dictionary. Aliasing. No, it's not aliasing. It is literally making a deep copy. If I try to access the variable of dictionary after using del, what will happen? Perfect, perfect. What will happen if I try to access the variable after using clear function, clear method? No output. Don't you think even pair of parentheses will be printed? Okay, you people are right. You people are right. You are going to get empty pair of parentheses. I mean curly braces as output. You people are right. Okay. My next question is, what do you think is the output? Arshad says one. I want exact output. I don't think so. You'll just get one. Aishwarya says one. I don't understand what is one. Okay, I don't think so. You people have any idea how dictionary is getting printed. It is printed like this, people. If I try to print a dictionary, it prints like this. Okay, hold on. Here you go. This is the way it prints dictionary, right? So I want you to predict the output. What do you think is the output of this? Hmm. Okay, Saraswati has given the output right. Saraswati, you are right. When I execute this, I'm going to get this particular output. Can Arshad, this is not a list, this is not a list. I want Saraswati to unmute and answer. Saraswati, why do you think that is the output? Okay, it's going to take time. See, what is happening is you are referencing the first dictionary to the second dictionary. There exists no second dictionary as such, because your dictionary. What is dict one? Dict one is nothing but your address where this particular dictionary is stored. Nothing else, right? This particular address is being copied to dict two. So essentially, dict two is pointing or referencing this particular original dictionary which we started with, right? When I try to access or modify the second dictionary, what I'm essentially is doing it is I'm accessing this particular dictionary and modifying it, right? When I try to print that particular dictionary using the earlier variable, which is essentially pointing to the same address, I'm going to get the same dictionary. So that's what I'm going to get. Hope this is clear, right? Please demonstrate delete and clear. Okay. See, when I put delete dict one and I'm going to print dict one, the entire memory is deallocated. The entire variable is destroyed at this particular point at line number two. And when I'm going trying to execute it, I'm going to get an error saying that there is no defined variable called dict one, right? When I try to use dict one dot clear, what I'm essentially doing is I'm retaining the variable, I'm retaining the address, I'm just clearing all the values and key value pairs inside the dictionary. So when I execute it, I'm going to get an empty pair of parentheses. As simple as that. Moving ahead, the same thing can be done by del dict one of key one. When I do this, I'm going to get the same output because I'm just deleting that particular key value pair, mentioning the key itself, right? So that is what I'm trying to do. Hope this is clear. Yes, any doubts? Here is your first program to solve. Okay, I want you to read key values from the user and build a dictionary. Okay, here is what I want you to do. First line of input will be number of elements, right? Second line of from second line, so second line of input will be key one, right? Third line of input will be value one, right? This will happen. This will happen n number of times. The number of elements. This will happen n number of times. And after this, I want you to print the particular dictionary. Hope this is clear. Let me get you started, right? Length is equals to int of input, right? Next, for I in range L, what I want you to do, the key is equals to this value equals to, okay. From here, what I want you to do, I want you to read key, right? Then I want you to enter value. And I want you to build the dictionary for this. Let's see who builds this first, and later I want you to print the particular dictionary. Aditya has got it right. Dict one of, okay, you have not mentioned it. Dict one is equals to pair of flower braces. Dict one of key is equals to value. That's it. You had to do print of dict one. If you wanted 4 inputs, key is 1, value is 2, key is 2, value is 3, key is 3, value is 4, key is 4, value is 5. That's it. Nothing else you had to do. Aditya, you can have a look at Soundarya's solution. She has used update function. That's how you need to you can do it. All right. Okay. That's it for today's session, people.